The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
This is back out for a three. Left wing is good. Deep to right field at the warning track. See ya.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
At the buzzer.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now. It's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Huge win for Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Final show of this athletic season. Thanks for being with us. So we've got Moseley, Jerry Allen coming up. We're going to recap the year. We're going to look ahead to the Oregon track and field conclusion to the season, at least for the current Ducks. Then some pro Ducks in action, maybe some current Ducks in the USA and Olympics and World Championships. We'll see. I say Olympics because every time we get to this time of year, I'm always reminded of just how many Ducks are competing in the World Championships, in the Olympics. And, you know, one of the greatest events that I've had the pleasure of watching is the USA Olympic trials at Hayward Field. And this entire summer with the new Hayward Field, it kind of feels like that. It's that same energy, that same buzz. The summer of Hayward, as we've called it, it's going to be here before we know it, because starting today, the NCAA championships for Oregon track and field get underway. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Hayward Field, the NCAA championships are coming up. That begins the summer schedule that features the World Championships, of course, in June. The first time on U.S. soil, the track and field World Championships. Pretty amazing, huh? Pretty cool. So we'll talk a little bit more about that with everybody coming up. Things to pay attention to over the summer as well. Of course, some pro Ducks in the U.S. Open. Congratulations, Aaron Wise, Wyndham Clark, some Ducks that have qualified for the U.S. Open coming up in a couple weeks. And then before you know it, it's going to be fall camp. So what's our schedule? Well, our schedule is that Duck Insider, we usually wrap up as the athletic season comes to a close. And, well, the only events that we have left are the NCAA championships. And because they're going to be going on Thursday and Friday, we'd be previewing races that for some of you, when you listen on an Oregon Sports Network affiliate station later on, the races may have already happened, the events may have already happened. So that's why Wednesday is the final day. And then we hope to see you all at Hayward Field over the course of the next few days. Also of note over the summer, of course, the MLB draft. For Oregon baseball, trust me, you're going to see some names get called. And speaking of baseball, Jacob Walsh, the freshman for the Ducks, has been named to the Collegiate Baseball 2022 Freshman All-America team. Magazine announced that today. Walsh is a Las Vegas, Nevada native. Claimed the honor after leading the Ducks in doubles with 18. He hit .295 with 6 home runs, 38 RBI, 35 runs scored, and 5 stolen bases. He reached base at a .414 clip, slugged .436. Walsh is the 10th Oregon player in the modern era of Oregon baseball to earn Collegiate Baseball Freshman All-America recognition. He started 55 of Oregon's 61 games. 52 of the starts came at first. He was a Collegiate Baseball Freshman All-American, announced today. The first in a while. In 2017, the Ducks had Gabe Matthews, Spencer Steer, and Kenyon Yovan all honored, and Kenyon Yovan was the player of the year. Matt Crook, A.J. Balta, Cole Irvin, Mitchell Tolman, Garrett Clevenger, Jake Reed have also all been named Freshman All-American. And you read off those names, and now you can include Jacob Walsh, and I think that tells you how impressive of an honor that is, a Freshman All-American for Jacob Walsh. But you'll see some Ducks, and you'll see some movement around the roster with just what happens in the MLB draft coming up here in about a month for Major League Baseball and Oregon baseball. I hope that we see a lot of Duck names called and they get a chance to go play baseball professionally, make some money, and that's what it's all about, right? Other news over the summer, we will be back for Duck Insider coming up in August, and the way that we do things is in the month of July, we'll take time off because there's not as many Oregon athletic events going on, really only pro Duck news to follow, some lead up to football season, and then when football media day is upon us and fall camp gets rolling, Duck Insider will be back with you. That's our plan coming up over the summer break, as it is graduation week across Oregon, and it's going to be really cool. Yesterday, if you missed it, Rob Mullins mentioned this, but on Monday, Autzen Stadium is hosting graduation. one of many graduation ceremonies. Of course, a lot of times each college has their graduation. There is a student-athlete graduation this upcoming weekend as well. But seeing Autzen Stadium host graduation, God, that's going to be so cool. Just going to be awesome to see all of the Ducks celebrating the way that they want to celebrate, because it's kind of multiple graduations in person this time around, right? So congratulations to all the graduates. It's finals week this week, and things wrapping up around the University of Oregon. But we'll be back in August, and I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that because my plan is to be back in August, but some news, if you haven't heard over the course of the last a couple months since everybody seems to have brought it up. But I realize that I have not actually said what's going on in August. So I am becoming a father in August. Thank you. For the first time. And so we hope that he is nothing like his father and is everything like his mother. We can all applaud that. Ryan and Scott in the studio agree. They work with me every day. They understand what I'm talking about. So that's I say that because if come the first Monday in August, if you see Jordan Brenner and Jerry Allen and I'm not here, well, that's why. The due date is August 12th for the latest member of the Oregon flock. The future Duck, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to put that pressure on him already, do I? That's how he ends up not going to the U of O. So in any case, that's coming up in August. I'm very excited, and so if for lack of a better phrase, you're curious as to why you maybe don't see me around, that's why. So maybe you'll see me in August, maybe you won't. Who's to know? We're on his schedule coming up over the next few weeks, at least in the Joey Mack household. Meanwhile, for Oregon Track and Field, back to them, and then we're going to talk with Rob Moseley and Jerry Allen, kind of review the season and look ahead to the fall a little bit. Our Robert Johnson, he met with the media as part of the big press conference previewing the NCAA championships. If you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, just getting rolling over at Hayward Field here today. Robert Johnson talked about where the Ducks figured a place here coming up in the NCAA championships.
But as far as the Ducks are concerned, as the host, coach here for all the NCAA coaches. We're excited. We're ready for this. We've been preparing for this all year long. I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to Sam Seams, because this week got started off yesterday with the NCAA Hall of Fame banquet, the first time ever. And so his brainchild to come up with and honor legends of our past, which I thought was fantastic and awesome and well needed. And so as far as our team is concerned, we're going to go out there and compete just like everybody else and try to get a trophy for the Ducks.
Is it hard to sometimes separate everything that's going on here at Oregon and just concentrate on the coaching?
Yeah, usually when these outside things come in, it makes it difficult. You know, ask these guys here what it's like when they go and coach these USA teams, how that affects their collegiate teams there. You can kind of lose focus a bit. And so this has kind of been something that's been on our plate for a couple of years now, with this cherry on top of the World Championships. But it's a challenge that we welcome, you know, to be able to be the first in the United States to host such a large event is spectacular, and America deserves this. And so we're going to go out there and continue to put together a venue, put together a schedule that is conducive for good competition, you know, and I think that this is the start of that. Like, this is the start of the next busy 2 months that we have here. Like, there's 4 or 5 meets that we're going to be hosting after this one, and this is like the creme de la creme of college meets for us. So excited to be doing that, and definitely with this over, then you can kind of turn your attentions to some of those things that are proceeding in the future.
Robert, we talked to a couple of your kids last week, Kai and Jada. And they were talking about role models growing up. Like, I was saying how you were a sprinter from Portland that could look up to it. Jada mentioned Michelle Carter is obviously a luminary, but it seems that if you could speak to maybe their potential at this meet, but they have the chance maybe to become role models for future kids that they didn't necessarily have locally. Could you speak to both of those kids in that regard?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that we've been doing since we got here. And like I said, been here 16 years, and even our competitors here sometimes says that you can't run fast in the Pacific Northwest because it's too cold and rainy. And so that's one of those monikers that they talk about out there all the time. But we set out to prove that tradition is what you make it.
I never said that.
And so one of those things to where when you have talented coaches, which I think we have a great staff, that they go out there and find good kids, and both Jada and Makai being from Oregon is just true testament to what you can do when you put your mind to it.
Do you believe in Hayward Magic? And if so, how would you define it?
It's a feeling. And that Hayward Magic is not only for people that are in Oregon uniforms. It's one of those things to where when you're coming down that home stretch and you're coming by the Bowerman Tower there and you hear that crowd rise up, and as athletes, you can't distinguish between they're cheering for Oregon or they're cheering for a Florida person. It's just noise.
Sure.
It's noise nonetheless. And so,
how about when the announcer goes, and off the Bowerman turn?
oh. And so that's just a feeling. And if you to go out there and touch it, it's the people in the stands, being knowledgeable about the sport of track and field. And they do that a good job here. And then, of course, the community and the university does a great job as far as embracing the sport and making people feel welcome when they're here. And all the things that you see around town that are track centric makes this a special place. So that's that magic that we talk about.
Robert Johnson previewing the Summer of Hayward, the NCAA championships coming up as well. Starting today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Hayward Field. Get your tickets, goducks.com. We'll have you covered for the recap. Shout out to Zach Lawson, the Oregon Track and Field Sports Information Director, for always keeping us up to date on where the records stand, all these different things that Zach keeps track of. Great stuff. And here's to a great conclusion to the collegiate part of the season. And I will say, I've said this again, I will die on this hill. Hayward Field should be the permanent host of the NCAA Track and Field Championships for just what Robert Johnson was saying. The fans in the stands are what make it so special. There's nowhere else that I'd rather have it be. When we come back, Rob Moseley, editor-in-chief of goducks.com, is going to join us. We'll review the season with him a little bit, and then Jerry Allen coming up. It's a busy day. Duck Insider, the finale of the season on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Okay, man, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you in the Country Financial Studio. And Rob Moseley's here, editor-in-chief, goducks.com. He's wearing much better attire today than he was last week. How are you, Rob?
Oh, yeah, I was wearing that Dodgers shirt.
Yeah, I got a picture of it.
Should have worn it again.
I just didn't. Don't worry, I didn't like the photo or anything in the text thread, so it's okay.
I was not trolling.
Were you not?
I was just supporting our guy Garrett Clevenger.
Is that what it was?
If you can't get behind supporting Garrett Clevenger, that's something you have to come to terms with.
What is it?
In your own heart.
Was it a Garrett Clevenger jersey?
It was indeed.
That's great.
Yeah.
Was it actually? I didn't know they made a Garrett Clevenger jersey.
Well, they've made one.
Well done. Well done. Rob Moseley is the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. Rob, it's the final Duck Insider. It's the season finale, if you will, of the athletic season. And so that means that we get to talk about a lot of different things. So you ready for a trip down memory lane?
Today's the last one, or is there one like Friday?
No, today's the last one.
Oh, nice.
Because with the track and field championships going on, there will be, because the show airs live at 1 o'clock, but then some of the OSN affiliate stations carry it later in the day, we might be previewing an event that's already happened.
Got it.
And so, yeah, we always say, like, the first day of the track and field championships.
That's it.
Yeah, because everybody's going to be at Hayward instead of listening and watching the show anyway. So that's the plan. So you ready for a trip down memory lane?
Okay, let's go.
All right. First of all, we have not yet talked to you since baseball season came to a close. And Rob, I said this yesterday. The coaches and the players are disappointed.
Yep.
Like getting to a regional back-to-back years, they don't want it to be getting to a regional back-to-back years. They want it to be winning a regional back-to-back years. It was still, though, a record-setting season offensively. Team records for batting average, home runs, RBIs, runs, doubles. I mean, you name it. The Ducks broke the record. I would say a successful season. Program's on the right trajectory.
Yeah, I think, there are kind of dual goals that I think for the program under Coach Wazakowski. And, obviously one of them is a carryover and one that applies to every program, which is win championships.
Right.
Win the conference, try to be competitive on the national level too, and ultimately try to compete for national championships. And that's what he wants. That's what Coach Horton wanted. That's what every staff here wants, because that's the expectation. But also, there wasn't a ton of energy at PK Park. It wasn't a great home field environment. And so there was a sense of, hey, let's play a more entertaining brand, score a few more runs. Obviously, some changes were made to the park to help do that, and get people out. And we started to see consistently, some rowdy dudes sitting behind the opposing dugout. We started to see, I just think, consistently bigger crowds and get trending the right way that direction. And so, I just think, the brand of baseball they played was fun to watch, was fun to come out and see. I always say, you've probably heard me say this before, and I'm a huge seam head. Baseball is my first love in sports. If I'm going to watch a great pitching performance, I want to do that at home on the couch, because I just think when you're watching on TV, it's easier to appreciate great pitching. Yeah. If I'm in the ballpark, I want to see runs scored.
Yeah.
Because that just keeps the energy high and kind of keeps you engaged. And I love the cerebral elements of small ball and all that. But if I'm at a game and I've got a beverage and a hot dog, and it's fun to see runs scored. And so they just changed their profile and just played a really fun brand of baseball to watch. So, but the wins have to come too, And it was. I hate to say it, but with the exception of women's golf in particular, their season was in line with a lot of seasons around here this year, where really, really, really solid regular seasons. I mean, that stat that you've seen me tweet out about, 10 wins in football, 20 from both basketball teams, 30 from both Diamond Sports teams. Only Power 5 school that can say that this year. So that's the kind of the consistent regular season success that we enjoyed this year across the board, but then kind of also across the board, once our teams got to the postseason, again, with one or two exceptions, just wasn't real fulfilling experience. Yeah. So, it made it sort of a maddening athletics year, all told, from that regard.
I was talking with the other Rob Mullins about this yesterday, actually, because, broad-based excellence is what they're after, right? That's what you want at the University of Oregon, and you got that, but then it always feels like there's more, and it's interesting because, the phrase is cliche that there's only one team that's happy at the end of every season, right? It's the team that wins the last game.
Right.
Everybody else is unhappy. It's hard to do that. It's really difficult to do that, but the other side of that coin is that says something about where the University of Oregon Athletic Department is at.
100%.
That's the goal. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention with the brand of baseball and kind of how that can maybe lead to a better trajectory for the program, I think what gets often overlooked in baseball is the defense. And I remember Waz said this at the beginning of the season, one of the more exciting plays defensively is when you can get a play at the plate, you can get a play at third base. Part of the reason they configured the ballpark the way they did was to get some more of those outfielder plays. So couple that with the fact that you had 2 robbed home runs by Oregon this year. Actually, 3 robbed home runs, really, by Oregon this year. Saw an opponent rob a home run this year. That wasn't happening. as much. I think the defense, and then also the fact that Oregon was a top 20 defensive team in terms of fielding percentage. Josh Kasevich made diving plays look routine. I don't want to forget the defense and how I was impressed with the defense and the way that the Ducks were consistent, but then also the way they made some of those exciting plays.
Yeah, and again, as a seam head, I love that stuff.
Right, me
for
too.
Sure. And some of that stuff, you manufacture with the outfield walls and all that, and some of it just comes down to great fundamentals and great athletes playing well. And a guy like Kasevich made the exceptional seam routine. So yeah, that was worth appreciating as well, no doubt about it.
How about golf? I didn't get a chance to talk to you about golf yet because I know you did this a little bit with Jordan last week, but just the season that they had for the women's golf team and for the men's team as well. I love the note that you made on GoDucks.com that was about hey, the women's team was a couple shots away from getting to match play last year.
Right.
The men's team, you could say the same this past weekend. They finished 15th, got to be in the top 8 to get to match play. The parallels between where those programs are at, it's kind of cool right now.
No doubt about it. Yeah, that women's team last year, knew everybody was coming back and knew they were going to be able to build on that. And the men's team this year started a freshman, a couple sophomores, a couple juniors. Again, they know that they can potentially bring everybody back next year and build on that experience. So I think Casey Martin's really excited about the experience those guys got and the taste of it. The fact that the same course is hosting nationals next year is a big deal, and hosted it last year as well as this year. It's a 3-year cycle that they're on. So the women got to experience Greyhawk down in Scottsdale for the first time last year, learn some things, and then put that to use this year. And it certainly wasn't the only factor in their run. I mean, just being a really good group that had proven it could win and kind of trusted in each other and the confidence they built from that were all factors as well. But the experience of playing on Greyhawk the year before in a championship environment helped, and now the men have that as well too. So just huge for those guys, and each guy kind of had a good day too, which I think helps. It wasn't like the same guys were carrying them in each round. I think each of the 5 players could point to at least 1 or 2 rounds down there where they said, yeah, I kind of got it together. I got it going. So, what did I do right that day too that I can put to use too? So, I think that helps provide a foundation for next season for those guys as well. But the women, just spectacular. Yeah. They had at least one senior. I know she's got, but she could potentially come back, but we don't know. And obviously, there's so much talent on that team. Professional prospects are high for some of them too. So we don't know entirely what that group's going to look like next year. But I think Coach Radley and Monica Vaughn, his assistant, have built a juggernaut there, and with the level they're recruiting at now, they're going to be able to sustain success. Whether they can do that, they have a run like that exactly next year, we'll find out, depending a little bit on who all's back. But I think being able to make a statement on the national level at that tournament year over year is something they should be able to come to expect.
Not to mention the fact that and we've talked about this a little bit, but I think that the Jake coming soon, the Oregon Golf facility that's currly going to break ground here in the coming months, that's a cool deal too. That adds to recruiting. I mean, the trajectory's positive.
For the most part, they go to warm, dry places to play tournaments, but you practice here.
Right.
And so to have a practice facility where you can get your work in, and regardless of what the elements are throwing at you, you can get your work in. And if you're going to play an event at home, which happens, then maybe you get out in the elements and you practice in it. But, if you're going, to Arizona or Southern California or wherever for a tournament one week and you want to get in work in dry conditions, they'll be able to do that. And just a really cool deal for them. I think, by this time next year, hopefully that'll all be wrapped up and unveiled and in use, and that'll be exciting for them.
Rob Moseley joining us, editor-in-chief, GoDucks.com. Track and field on the horizon, getting rolling at Hayward Field today. I know you'll be out there covering it all. And I love what you wrote about, Rob, heading into this, and you just heard the comment actually from Robert Johnson last segment about the Oregonians making an impact on for this track and field team. That's a pretty cool storyline.
Yeah, no doubt. I think if you're a kid growing up in this state and you're a male 1500 runner, you've had a lot of role models over the decades. If you're a young female sprinter. You've had a lot of role models the last 10, 15 years. But, some of those other traditions, and Jada Ross, the thrower, and Mekhi Williams, the sprinter on the men's side, I think the men's sprinting has sort of a sneaky tradition going, but looking for kind of a breakthrough that a guy like Mekhi Williams could be, winning an outdoor 100-meter title. And for Jada Ross, her role models were some luminaries in the sport, but nobody local. And Mekhi, same thing, nobody really local. And so I think the fact that these kids have potentially, if they have the success we hope for them, could then be kind of role models for the next generation here locally in the state, I think is a big deal, because there's talented kids in a lot of different disciplines from this state, from this region, obviously from the West Coast, and it's great to excel in the distances. That's your tradition. We don't want to lose that. It's great, this recent tradition in the kind of sprints and middle distances on the women's side. That's great. Don't want to lose that. But this is a program that wants to excel in everything. And so to have kids that are doing that and kind of pointing the way for future generations that you can come here and be successful, in the women's throws and the men's sprints is a big deal.
We'll see where things go at Hayward Field, but anytime the Ducks are in competition, you think that they're going to be competing for some championships, individual and as teams. But hey, this is the best of the best in the NCAA championship.
Yeah, I think it's an uphill battle on the team side, but if you can get a podium finish or two, I think that'd be a real accomplishment. It's going to be a lot to take in and enjoy, and just all these articles are coming out now about kind of what Eugene's going to be like and what it's going to be like trying to get around town, and trying to find hotel rooms for people who somehow have let that slide until now, and just trying to imagine just what life's going to be like around here for those couple weeks is it's going to be interesting, fun, crazy, so.
It's going to be fun, though. I'm looking forward to it. First time ever on U.S. soil. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. I do want to leave you with this, Rob. Just any standout moments from your time this year. And I don't even necessarily just mean like, the successful athletic season. But, you're like me. You're around student athletes. Sometimes my favorite memories have nothing to do with what happened on the field. Do you have any that pop up as we review the year and head toward another athletic season next year?
No, I mean, there's some recency bias there. I mean, I really enjoyed the experience with the golf teams, and that women's program in particular is just so fun to be around good people. I think, something that just jumped to mind, at least, was there's nothing like during a football season when it's like early November and the rankings are coming out, and you work with a program that is on pins and needles to see where the rankings are coming out. So when there's those few weeks in there when the Ducks really had it rolling, and it was you're projected into a playoff, like that's you're on the trajectory to achieve the highest of highs, and that's those were heady times. But as we talked about, football was one of several programs that by the end you felt really solid about how the season went, and also a little unsatisfied too. So. But the great thing about sports in general and college athletics is there's a new year is about to dawn.
That's right.
And right some wrongs and build on all that. And, if fall's coming up soon, and there's a soccer program that's going to be looking to break through and make the postseason. There's a volleyball team that I think feels really good about its chances to contend for and maybe even win a conference title. And of course the Dan Lanning era in football. So, not to mention cross country. So, it'll be here before we know it.
You're going to be spending a lot of time at Hayward Field, like a lot of fans over the summer, and then before you know it, we'll be talking football. Rob, get some vacation too, will you?
What's that? Actually, I'm going to see the Grateful Dead 4 times next week, so I'm not kidding anybody.
That deserves another one.
Yeah.
Rob Moseley's the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. Hey, thanks for always taking the time. Looking forward to catching up with you again in August.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, we're going to get a timeout. When we come back, the voice of the Ducks is here. We're going to talk with Jerry Allen on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece. And it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. They can help save lives by not having play dates. That's right. By replacing get-togethers with virtual play dates and video chats, they can help slow the evil spread of germs. And if your superheroes do go outside, make sure they continue their superhero wing by staying 6 feet away from others to protect everyone in America land. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it is the Duck Insider season finale presented by On Point Community Credit Union. That means that we had to bring Jerry Allen out of the mountains.
Had to bring.
Off his fishing
Had
trip.
to bring.
So let's see. You've caught how many fish so far in the spring? And you've been on how many RV trips? And how long did the beard get before you cut it?
I'll have my people get in touch with you. They have all the numbers and can relate the inside information. I can't count how many fish because you're only allowed a certain number, and I'm way over the limit, I'm sure I am.
So we can't say how many.
No. Caught 1 or 2.
Yeah, fair enough. Jerry Allen, we are graced. Is that better?
No,
you don't like that either? God, I gotta rethink my vocabulary. Jerry, though, every year we always do our sort of year in review. We're going to do that. We've got highlights from the football season to get you excited for the next football season. But I'm going to start here with the fact that I have not yet asked Jerry for any of this advice on the air. So now he's ready. Now he has.
I'm ready.
Are you?
I even know what you're going to ask.
All right. So as I said at the beginning of the show, you might not see me in the month of August at all. If the kid's early, then I'm it's going to be the Jerry Allen show, and I'm out. You'll see me in Atlanta, but that'll be it.
I'll look forward to it.
Although I haven't yet said this to Jerry. If the kid's late, you won't see me in Atlanta.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I
you
thought
can't
about
be that far away when all of a sudden,
right?
Surprise!
Yeah. So August 12th is the due date. So I've got a few weeks.
Yeah.
We're gonna be okay. Fatherly advice. What should I know? you were in my shoes.
You know what? I'm just gonna tell you, it's instinctual. You just know what to do. You don't. You can read books. You can ask everybody who's had children. Listen to mom and dad. But when it comes down to just you and mom with the baby, you just know what to do.
Just keep the kid alive.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
My entire that has been my motto. So we've
it.
been going through, the classes, getting ready, and making sure we know everything that you're supposed to know. And I'm just like, okay, the theme here is just keep the kid alive.
That's not a good way to put it.
But
that's harsh.
But what else are you doing?
Well, no,
I mean,
it's true. I get it. But no,
they eat, they sleep, they poop, they repeat.
Yeah, you want to have fun. And remember and take pictures and don't let any moment go by. All right, without remembering that moment.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but you will just enjoy it.
Oh,
you will lose a lot of sleep.
That's right. Yeah. And you know me, not a morning person.
You will be.
No.
Yes, you will.
I think I'm just going to be an all-night person. I'm going to revert back to my younger days.
You'll be one or the other. Hopefully you're not both.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
had 2 children that just did no routine at all, and so.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what's coming up in
Looking
the fall
forward to
and in the summer on the horizon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, though, it is the year in review, and it's interesting. for me, every time we get to this time of year, and I sit down in the morning and I think about, okay, what do I want to make sure that I hit on? You know, the truth is that doing the yearly recaps, it's gotten more difficult over the last few years because there are so many programs that succeed, that compete for Pac-12 championships. There's so many individuals to highlight. And so when I started listing everything today, I went, you know, really the theme of the year was spectacular broad-based excellence, and as Rob and I were just talking about, but some disappointments in the postseason. And all the coaches, I think, would say that. They'd be like, yeah, you know, we wanted a little bit more. What does that say about where this department is at? That we're sitting here saying it's the only Power 5 school with 30 football wins, 20 men's and women's basketball wins,
huge.
30 diamond sport wins for both baseball, softball.
Yeah, impressive.
And it's like, probably could have had more this year.
You know, I'm going to say this because I actually have given this some thought. You want to be at a school or in a department where your fan base can look forward in all of the sports to being competitive. And you go into every season with, we got a chance. Not, I don't know, it's going to be one of those years. Oregon this year, I think in almost every sport, had fans going, oh, baby, we got a chance. And a lot of those went right to the end of the regular season and into the postseason. So you were relevant all year long in almost everything, and that is a goal. Now, the ultimate goal is to win championships, but that's a fine line. That is not easy to do. So if you can keep relevant, you're going to win a championship.
Yeah. Isn't that something? I mean,
yeah, it really is.
And you know what? Like, I hear coaches talk about this all the time. Like, sometimes it's not in fact, more often than not, it's not the best team that wins at the end of the year. It's the team that maybe gets some breaks. It's the healthiest team. You know, you kind of have to have a little luck on your side.
No, it's not only that. It's like in baseball, you take a shot and you got a guy on second, you're down a run, the ball goes down left field, and it just drops 2 inches foul. 2 inches the other way, run scores, and maybe you win that game, you go on. Basketball, it's a 3 at the end. How many overtime games, a couple of games that Oregon maybe could have won in basketball, men's and women's? I mean, yeah, you got
6.
it. So,
yeah,
in football, same thing. I go back to that Stanford game, and you go, wow. So it's a game of inches in not just basketball, but football and track and field certainly, and Oregon's been there. They've been giving their fans a chance to say, hey, we got a chance. Can't ask for more than that.
Stay in the conversation.
Yeah.
We're going to do that. When we come back, highlights, the plays of the year from the football season, getting you ready for next fall. It's going to be here before we know it. Wow. Quick timeout. Jerry Allen's here. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear gas prices, Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. That says it all. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales. After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Dear gas prices, Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. That says it all. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy.
What's your name?
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back on Nugget Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here with you in the Country Financial Studio. Jerry Allen's with us. You're about to hear a lot of Jerry Allen and Mike Jorgensen. And Jerry, I don't know if you knew this, but on your way in and on your way out, you can't forget, you got mail.
Oh.
Yeah, literally, you have mail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bills.
No, I made sure. Those I threw away.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
they're in the bin out
Sweet.
in the hallway.
I'll look it up.
somewhere.
Okay.
But the reason that I bring up the mail call is that it was actually kind of cool because there were a couple letters that I came across that probably I should have given you in 2020, but nobody got mail here in 2020.
No,
So there's
true.
a couple of them actually that are from 2020. Which
lost to the dead letter office somewhere.
Well, yeah, but so I say that because, like, man, just how great was it to be back at Autzen? Like, it feels like a while ago that we were talking about this season being back at Autzen, but I think, fans, what you're going to love when you hear this season highlight recap, again, shout out to Rob Joyce and Scott Phillips for helping us put it together. Man, it was great to be back. Oh, it was so much fun. Let's review the season that was, and then we're going to look ahead to the season that's coming with our football plays of the year, the season in review.
Welcome to Oregon Duck Football 2021. The season is finally here. Anthony Brown, option, keeps, first down run and more. Inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Anthony Brown. Wasn't easy, but it's a W, and you move on for your next opportunity. And we all know where that is. Oregon 31 and Fresno State 24. I cannot wait to see these two teams take the field today here in Columbus. Jorgie, this is going to be fun today.
It is, and one of the great venues of college football right here in Columbus. And, you know, again, it's just huge.
Third down and 3. Verdell to the right of Brown. And Brown wants the snap, has got it. Give it to Verdell. Busted up the middle. Here we go. Has he got the speed? 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown! C.J. Verdell. Give it to Verdell. No, it's going to be a throw. Wide open. Touchdown, Oregon! In the end zone. Nobody near Maliki Matavao. Time. Pressure comes. Trying to run away from it. Now we'll just dump a short pass. It's intercepted. It is intercepted. Verone McKinley with a pick at the 37-yard line and then out of bounds. Game over. Oregon has defeated Ohio State 35-28. Goosebumps.
Top 5 team, number 2 team in the country at their place in front of 100,000 people. I'd say it's pretty good.
Ty Thompson pump fake, wants to go downfield. The ball does. Catch made, first down run, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Oregon. Dante Thornton. Oregon 48 and Stony Brook 7. McLeod from the shotgun. And a throw. Pump fake, wants to go deeper down the right side. Got a man down there, picked up. Intercepted. That's Bennett Williams. Williams cuts it up across a couple of guys still at his feet. 50 with blockers. 40 the other way. He's got room. He's got the 20. He's got the 10. He scores. Bennett Williams. How about that? Ducks are going to get the win. Oregon going to 4-0. Arizona 0-4. And that's a final. Oregon 41. And Arizona 19. So 4th down and 8. They put the ball at the 23-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. 3-man rush. Brown rolling right. Looking. Throws. Incomplete, out of bounds. Game over. Final score, Stanford 31, Oregon 24. I have no words.
No feeling sorry for ourselves. We have our goals intact in front of us, and we have to go accomplish them. And to do so, we have to continue to get better.
Here's the snap, back to throw. Brown steps up, can run, and is going to. Outside of the 5, inside, did he get the pylon? Yes, touchdown, Anthony Brown. 24-17 lead. Final play, potentially, of the game. At the 2-yard line. What do you draw up here? And back to throw. Garber's chased. Throws incomplete. And the reason it was incomplete is the 2 guys I just mentioned, Verone McKinley III and Noah Sewell, both came on blitzes. and Garber had no chance. And Oregon has won it. 24-17 over the Cal Bears. Keegan Jones, the receiver, going to hand it off. The throw, touchdown. Little play action throw. And Casimir Allen with a touchdown, and UCLA leads at 13-0 with a kick coming up.
And they've got Oregon's defense confused right now.
We said we need to wake up, and we need to wake up fast. And I think it showed. As soon as we got that touchdown, the momentum started to change.
On first down at the UCLA 43, left hash, back on a keeper. Right up the middle goes AB. He's open. 30, 20. He's going to score. Anthony Brown, touchdown Oregon. Quarterback draw up the middle. And UCLA had no chance. Ready with a snap. Quick throw out. Intercepted. It's picked. Down the sideline and out of bounds. DJ James has given it back to Oregon. And that is all I have to say. Game over. Oregon has snuck out of here with a 34-31 win over UCLA to go 6-1. So third down and 3. The Ducks at the Colorado 34-yard line. Left hash. Handed off to Cardwell. Busted up the middle. He may be gone. Maybe. Oh, ain't no maybe about it. Touchdown, Oregon. Byron Cardwell. Dye to the left of Anthony Brown. Give it to Dye. Powers into the end zone without being touched. Travis Dye into the end zone without even being touched. Oregon has defeated Colorado 52-29. That's your final score when the Ducks and the Huskies meet here again today. They didn't meet last year. Washington still stung by that as Oregon went on to the Pac-12 championship game. So today, a chance for what they think is redemption.
I mean, how many teams can end up in the North, but Oregon wants to take care of business and make sure that doesn't happen.
From the 19 of the Huskies, second down and 7. Snap and give it to Dye. Running right, cut back lane there. 10, 5. Look out, touchdown, Travis Dye.
And he had Anthony Brown as a lead blocker.
It is finally over, and Oregon has defeated Washington here in Seattle 26-16. And give it to Cardwell. Picks his way up the middle, and he's going to go all the way up the middle. Touchdown, Oregon. Rolling to the right now to Laura. Throws the ball out. It's intercepted. That is Addison down the sideline, and Oregon's got the ball back. I'm taking that play clock all the way down inside the 3. Now 2 seconds. Takes a snap. Give it to Cardwell going left. Waits for a block. Cuts it back inside the 10. Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there. Second touchdown for Cardwell. 38-24. And Oregon is 9-1 on the season. And more importantly, in the race for the Pac-12 North, they are 6-1, and they erase Washington State in the battle for the Conference North crown. Rising under center. Back, handed off to Thomas. He'll scroll in easily. And a 38-7 final score. There it is, 38-7. The rivalry game for the Battle of the Pacific Northwest and who will represent the North in the Pac-12 championship game. Talking about Oregon State.
Obviously get last week's game, the bad taste of that Utah performance out of their mouth with an opportunity to potentially play the Utes again.
It was Cardwell out to the left and back to throw. Brown pressured, running. Oh, he could have run it. Yeah, the receiver wide open. Touchdown! Don't run it! Don't run it! Don't run it! Don't run it! Devin Williams. 3:17 remaining. Oregon up 10 and at the 1-yard line. Brown, motion man, Thornton. Give the ball to Dye. Touchdown, Travis Dye. Touchdown, Oregon. Oregon will win the 2021 rivalry game. 38-29, the final score. How about we go to the Pac-12 championship game next weekend? How's that sound? The 11th time since they instituted the Pac-12 championship game. This will be Oregon's 5th. A rematch against Utah again. Been there, done that. Let's do it again, Jorgie. On second down and 10 from the Ducky 11-yard line. Snapping back to throw. Pressure over the net. Wide open. Touchdown, Utah. When it's all said and done, you say congratulations, tip your hat, Utah, with 5 seconds remaining. You played a much better ball game again than we did. And that's your final. And it's in the books. Oklahoma has won the Valero Alamo Bowl here for 2021. And the Ducks will take this young ball club, go back home, get ready for next year right away with a brand new head coach in Dan Lanning.
And it is my honor to introduce the next head football coach at the University of Oregon, Dan Lanning.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck. Whether I have coached you or not, we want you to know this is a program you can be proud of and part of. This is a place that your involvement is very important to us. We want you back. And one thing, even when you leave home, this place should always feel like home to you.
Puts it all in perspective. I love what you said, Jerry, at the end of the season. Hey, would have liked to get a victory in a bowl game, but it's a young ball club, and now they've spent this entire offseason under a new coaching staff getting ready, and now after hearing that, it's like, okay, let's go play football.
No, I'm ready to start. Well, okay, we can go next week.
Next week
fine
would be
with
fine.
me. Yeah, because it's a young ball club, a lot of guys back, and I think we said when Dan Lanning joined us that seems like the real deal. The longer he's been here, the more real it seems. The only thing he's got to complete now for me is wins, because I think he's one of the best we've ever had.
Georgia.
Baby. Oh, God. Could you write a script? It's like a Hollywood movie.
I know. Just the only thing that you need for it to really be a Hollywood ending is the new first-year head coach gets a win
in
the matchup with his old team. That's the Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Well, we're going to get a quick timeout, come back, wrap it up, the season finale of Duck Insider. Well, then we're heading to Hayward. That's right. More coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCAA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack and Jerry Allen in the Country Financial Studio. The final Duck Insider of the season. Head to Hayward Field, everybody. Not just for the NCAA championships this weekend, but you got a lot coming up. USA Track and Field Championships, and then the World Championships for the first time on U.S. soil. It's going to be a busy, busy summer around the Eugene-Springfield area, and I'm here for it. I'm really excited to see what the community looks like when it's, shall we say, going to be very internationally flavored for a few weeks around the World Championships.
You know, it's kind of like a time capsule moment for me because I got to run at Hayward Field when it was a cinder track back in the late 60s.
Wow.
Okay, pre-Fontaine. And to see it now, it is like, you know, I can't even begin to explain the emotions of what it has become compared to what it was. It's just spectacular.
Here's a little story for you. So I was giving a campus tour a couple weeks ago and walked by Hayward Field. And when I was in school, and this wasn't that long ago, truly, when I was in school, that was a road that you could drive on.
Yes.
From Hayward all the way down toward the backside of the EMU, you could drive past the Student Rec Center. That's now closed to traffic. Well, when I was a student, you would have to be dodging cars in that area. But then you walk through what's there now, and you see the different names that are part of the cobblestone walkway in front of Hayward Field, and it's like, wow, that's
history.
Exactly. Like it is a cool thing.
History.
Yeah, it's a really cool deal. So I encourage everybody who's coming to town, do the full tour. Jerry, what are your summer plans? Getting ready for fall camp. It's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah, I'm already starting to work on fall camp. I got a big trip coming up with my wife's brother. He's in a wheelchair and has been for years. And we always take him up to Diamond Lake and take him and a couple of others fishing. And it's the highlight of the summer. We got a few RV trips planned. And,
but you already hit your fish limit, you said.
Well, I didn't admit that.
Oh.
Just in case Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife are listening.
Sure.
We just
continue, please.
The potential that we might catch a lot of fish. No, we're just going to enjoy life.
Yeah,
just
good.
enjoy life.
Good. Well, so I hope that I'll see all of you the first week of August when fall camp gets going.
Wow.
That means that the kiddo is on time. If I don't see all of you, then it's been a pleasure, and we'll talk to you from Georgia, talk to you from Atlanta. So Jerry's going to be in, Jordan's going to be in over the course of the month of August, and I want to make sure to thank Mitchell Lee back in the OSN studio. You've heard him on football, Duck Insider, men's basketball, some women's basketball, baseball all season long. We couldn't do what we do across the Oregon Sports Network without Mitchell making sure that we're actually on the air at our satellite uplink.
He's sort of like the Steven Spielberg behind the scenes, right?
He's going to love that you said that.
I know. That's why I said it. Trying to score points.
As the resident movie buff, Mitchell Lee, he's going to love that you said that. Yeah. Ryan Milano, by the way, everybody, he's been our intern. Sean McPherson was here in the fall. Ryan's directing the show today. Well done, sir. Ryan's back next year. He's going to keep working with KWVA. You'll hear him on a lot of broadcasts. And a shout-out to Scott Phillips. Scott Phillips is standing up running audio today. And Scott keeps us on the rails as best he can. I want you all to know that he just threw the flag at Jerry Allen for no reason whatsoever. This has been a great season of Duck Insider.
Can't wait until next
See you in August,
season.
everybody.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes